Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. Namo, the fundamental teacher Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo, manifestation body of Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo, Chusma Heruka, the divine King Buddha with great authority. Simu, Panchen Katso Dubten Siddhi Dubten Kama. All Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma teaching assistants, temple directors, and all disciples present here and those over the internet. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? Good afternoon.
报复，
报复，
报复，报复。通知大家。
Would like to announce
下个礼拜天
for next Sunday, June 7th at 3 p.m.
是满愿童子的附魔法会。
There would be Pingala Homa fire offering ceremony, the wish fulfilling child. This deity
是哈利蒂姆
is Mother Hariti's 500th child.
因为他这个释迦牟尼佛把它放在他
And because Sakyamuni Buddha placed him inside his bowl
到加持，
and received
会
blessings,
成为满愿。
so he became the wish fulfilling child, the mantra.
比利云嘎索哈，Om 比利云嘎索哈。它本身有另外一个名称。
He has another name.
然后再变成荷叶。
From the ounce bowl becoming the lotus leaf, and he's seated on a lotus leaf, so he's also called the lotus leaf child. His right hand is the wish granting mudra. His left hand is holding the auspicious fruit. The left hand. Holding the auspicious fruit. And the right hand is the wish fulfilling mudra or wish granting mudra. That's his mudra. That's the mantra. Pingala. This deity, so by praying to him, just like his name, he can fulfill the wishes of sentient beings. That's very nice. To invoke him, sometimes you invoke Hariti first. Mother Hariti. And his name is Pingala, Bilinga. And the mantra, Om Bilinga Soha. I think I transmitted this Dharma in Taiwan Lechang Temple.
台湾雷藏寺啊，那就台湾雷藏寺。
Taiwan Lechang寺, right? Taiwan Lechang Temple, yeah.
这一尊呢，你请他有什么好处？
What benefits do you have by invoking him? Lotus leaf child can cure illnesses.
命运有什么，他都知道。
Oh, you can know your own readings, future.
赐给你，命运应该有的，他都会赐给你。
So whatever that's in your destiny will be given to you.
是的时候啊，
When I give spiritual consultation,
两尊荷叶同体，
I have 2 lotus leaf children,
两尊
Pingalas, 2 Pingalas,
在帮师尊的，
and they
也就是
help grandmasters help.
他们会
Like during consultation,
告诉我，
they would tell me the answers.
会告诉我答案。
Pingala would tell me the answers.
一般来讲，好像一些算命的。
So generally speaking, if you are fortune telling, you can enshrine Pingala and you would know many answers.
少康节
Just like Sao Kang Jie, the iron plate calculation. That's not divination, but it's called calculation.
的命运，
Or
几岁到几
to
岁，
prove your own destiny, what will happen between what age to what
这
age.
本神术里面都会算出来。
That can be calculated in that iron plate.
哪一本书第几条，哪一本书第几条，
So it would tell you in which book and which chapter and which part, and then all together, that's your
给
destiny.
它分，那个分就是你出生的
And you have to give the minutes of your birth.
几分生的，
So the hours and the minutes.
你也许
And there are 60 minutes in an hour.
出生
So maybe minute 1, minute 2, 3, 4.
对了，
And then the one that's accurate,
出生的
that would be the minutes, the minute of your birth.
把所有一生当中的应验，
And then from then,
就是说应验的命，统统把你算出来。
it can calculate the destiny that's already predestined for you.
为什么不敢再算？
And then after a while, because it's so accurate, you don't want to continue. Because if you continue, you will be dead.
所以不敢算了。到最后，他会讲出你说你得什么病死，
And it would even tell you you would die of what illness.
大部分来讲铁板神术啊，
So the iron plate divine
这个时候
calculation
你再下去
or calculation of destiny. Usually you just do it up to a certain
都
point
准了。
because they were all very accurate for the past, so the future will be accurate
他
too.
甚至于可以讲你父亲几岁，你母亲几岁，
It would even tell you what age your parents are, what zodiacs they belong to,
你几个兄弟，
and how many siblings you have, and you're which number,
你有几个兄弟走了，他也可以。
and how many brothers have
碰
died,
到姓什么的人，
and at what time you would encounter someone by what name, would take away the amount of money. You can calculate that
有
too.
时候你会碰到某一个贵人，你就生气，
Oh,
他也
at
算出来。
what point you will encounter a favorable person and you would be promoted to a manager, and then the salary that you will earn, they all can be calculated. It's like
同
that.
志也有这个能力哦，
And so Pingala has such ability too.
就是荷叶同志。
And that's lotus leaf child, or wish fulfilling
都
child.
是一个数日，
So everything is in your destiny.
这本书
By giving the numbers, you check the books, and it's recorded. Everything about your destiny is recorded in that
徽章
book.
好多条，
And there were many
算你第几条
sections.
你
And
按照
then
书
after they calculate it, and
原
then
来这个就是
check
你的命运。
this part of the book, and then you check, and sure enough, that's your destiny.
那个写武侠小说很有名的金庸，
Jin Yong, the famous author for the Kung Fu novels
金庸
or the martial arts novels, and he got his fate read as well. Destiny reading. Who else?
很多人，倪匡、王，他们称为四才。香港四大才子全部去
The four geniuses of Hong Kong, they all went for the reading through the iron plate divine calculation. There was one that did not believe at first. Who was that?
一开始4个香港四大才子，
The four geniuses of Hong Kong went for the destiny reading, and they did not believe it in the beginning
我呢有一个
at first, and
说他不
one of them
然后大家劝他说去算一算，他去算，
did not believe, and then everybody advised him to have a reading.
第一条是什么一母又一母，一母又一母。他说啊，你怎么会有3个母亲呢？
And the first reading was like one mother, another mother, and another mother.
吓了一跳。
When he saw that, he was shocked
一母又一母又一母，
because that's what the reading was.
其他3个人说你怎么会有3个母亲？
How could you have 3 mothers? And then he told them, one is my birth mother. I called her mother. One is my adopted mother who raised me. That's the mother. And then
他也叫他母亲。
the wife that his father married. So he had 3 mothers.
几个母亲都知道。
So it can even calculate how many mothers you have. He was so surprised.
他讲说，那个去算的人看到这一条，他的背肌啊，花
And when seeing that, the back was goosebumps. Because that showed the accuracy of it.
所以你说那个紫微斗数啦，麻衣
So 紫微斗数, the purple star,
啊，一
the 马衣,
样的。
the 八字 or the 8 numbers, or palms reading, face reading, bone,
还有那个
testing the bone shapes, calculating the weight. There's so many ways of
黑板
readings,
神术是最难。
of destiny readings. But the iron plate divine calculation is the hardest one because it requires the year, the month, the date,
哪一个时，
the hour,
哪一个分，
the minute
统统给
of your
他
birth.
资料给他
If you give these 5 numbers,
出来。
then everything will be calculated. Everything will come out.
只是知道出生的年，
Most people only know their month,
都不知道
the year, month, day, and hour,
一个对，
and most don't know their
全
minute.
部
But you can go one by one. If you find one that's accurate, then the rest of the reading would be accurate.
再来70岁以后，
So the reading is so accurate that you would be scared to continue.
再来不敢算，
What you will encounter at 70s and 80s, and if you continue, it will be your death.
看相片这里， 我只是看相片啊，然后
looking at the photos, I can look at the photo, and then Pingala will tell me.
有几个专门出去查的。
There were several who would go and check and report to Golden Mother, and then
你去查查看，
Golden Mother would ask Pingala, go check, and they come back and tell me.
给他们姓名住址就可以了，
Just by giving the name and address.
就这样。
That's how it is.
那邵康节啊，他写的那些书啊，少主艺术
And Sao Kang Jie has written that books,
来的，
Sao Zi Yi Su.
全部就是在他的书里面。
It's like a whole,
宋朝时候
the whole, like encyclopedia of books. That's from Song Dynasty, would know the destinies of all people in the world.
这是很奇怪，那叫
That's really amazing. That's called iron plate divine calculation.
艺术。
Actually, it's the same as Sao Zi Yi
大
Su.
家读过《了凡四训》吗？
Have you read the 4 stories of Liao Fan?
大家读。
The 4 teachings of Liao Fan? You all have read about it, right? The person Yan Liao Fan,
去算铁板神术，
he went for his destiny reading by the iron plate divination, and he knew about his whole life destiny, including his salaries.
所以在他一生当中，他知道自己的命数以后，
So after knowing his own destiny for the whole life, he just lived his days
你在
like
努力
that.
也是这样子，
Because he knew that whether you put in effort or not, that's what happens. What will happen is already predestined.
了无牵挂，
So his heart and mind is calm like a serene water, and no worries and no concerns whatsoever. As soon as he sits, he can enter meditation. Why? Because he knows about his whole destiny. He has nothing to ask for.
被一个高人看到了，
But then
银谷禅师
a high adept, the Zen master Ingu, met him and
为什么
told him,
能够入定？
a person like you, how can you enter meditation in your sitting
家人
practice?
不一定能够入定，
And all those monastics don't necessarily can enter samadhi,
普通通的人
and they have to practice for so
能
long.
够入定，
But you're just an ordinary person, and you can enter into meditation so easily. What reason is that? So Yan Liao Fan told the Zen master Inku,
他活在树，
because he had the destiny reading through the iron plate divination,
他都知道。
everything about the person that he would meet and what will happen. So he has nothing to strive for. That's why it's very easy
这样不对，
for him to enter meditation. But the Zen master told him that's not right, because you can change your own destiny.
改变
How?
就讲说，
And then he was told
做很多的善事，
that you have to do a lot of good deeds.
可以改变。
Then a great good deed or great good deeds can change your destiny. Great bad deeds can also change your destiny. Therefore, destinies can change. That's what the Zen master told him.
定下来，
But in reality, it was predestined. It is predestined. But the great good deeds and bad deeds can change destinies.
一命之学，
So that's the study of establishing destinies as part of the 4 teachings of Liao Fan.
我们要做的满愿童子，就是合业童子，
So the Homa that we will have, Pingala,
算命的老祖宗，
wish fulfilling child, is the patriarch of all divination, calculation, and reading.
合业童子
If you enshrine Pingala,
你可以知道自己的命运。
then you would know your own destiny and fate. Sometimes he would come and tell you.
他会跟你讲，明天会下雨哦。
He would tell you it's raining tomorrow at what time.
出门
Make sure you bring your umbrella. He would tell you.
明天会刮风，明天会怎么样？他给你报气象。明天你会碰到什么人？
So what will happen tomorrow? Whom would you meet tomorrow? And someone is going to borrow money and don't loan the money because it would be taken away. He would know all that.
对呀、很多人现在假投资案，那骗子很多。
There are many scammers about scammer fraud investments, and
新加坡
they're fraud companies, and then you would lose everything.
那埋怨童子晚上来告诉你，
So Pingala would tell you, don't invest in that.
给你讲几句话，不要投资，你就
Would tell you, no, don't invest. Then you would know.
下了你
Then
的钱
you would save all your hard-earned money.
很重要了，埋怨童子
So that's why Pingala is very important.
要那个足迹。
You have to register as primary supplicants
太多诈骗了啦，
because there are too many scammers in the world now. Oh my gosh,
这都是诈骗。
everywhere.
因为诈骗的罪好像比较轻一点，
Because
的话罪
crimes of scamming is less
全部都改成诈骗集团。
than
有的所有时候不太好。
like threat or mafia.
你不过骗他的钱而已啊。
So, but scammers is like they're just cheating you, right? Cheating you. Extortion is heavier crime.
对啊，
So I encountered many people coming to consultation that they're being
那
scammed,
有什么办法？
and I told them you're being cheated, and they said, "Oh, I don't believe it.
几口六
What can I do?" Then they continue, and sure enough,
本来就是，本来我不能讲是谁了，
I cannot say who
不好意思，因为我碰到了诈骗
because
问世的
I have
10个
encountered at least 10 people who got scammed
而已，至少
just this 1 year.
被骗的。当然啦，现在到处都是骗子哎。
There are many scammers everywhere. Please be careful.
不要给人家骗大钱。
It's okay if you give a little money, but not much.
当然啦，很多啦，骗人的很多啦。
Many people cheat.
我觉得欺骗实在心地不太好。
Actually, people who cheats don't have good heart
算来积蓄
because people, that's hard-earned money by people. And then after cheated, sometimes they suffer greatly and sometimes they die from it. So that's why they can take people's lives. So it's better to be honest as a human.
我们今天做灰鸡金刚的
Today we perform Ujjusuma Homa fire offering, and it's very rare that we
藏密
have this deity. It's rather rare in Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan Tantrayana, but in Japanese Tantrayana, Ujjusuma is very common and popular.
是可以破一切的
He can destroy all filths.
任何一切
He's not afraid of any filths or dirtiness.
阳刚气很重的，叫做火头金刚。
He is one with strong yang energy, also called the firehead Vajra, indestructible Vajra, many
他的
names.
头发是红色的，
His hair is red.
塔的头发把它画成棕色。
See, the tanka here is brown. That's wrong. It should be red.
这个父母的唐卡，
The tanka for the Homa altar.
我跟他讲，
The hair was not red. So I told him, your hair is not right.
来观想成为红色的才对。
So I've visualized it to be red because his hair is red and he's called the firehead Vajra.
这是红色的，
But the tanka cross here is not red.
才跟我
I looked at him for a long time and then he said, you're right.
我的这个唐卡不对，
My tanka is not right.
它叫火头金刚，头发是红色。
So he's called the firehead Vajra and his hair is red.
子孙有好处啊，都生男孩子了。
One of his benefits is to give birth to
生
sons.
的都是男生，
So if you chant his mantra, you will give birth to sons
后一切
of boys, baby
我
boys,
什么东西都不会
because he has strong young energy. So no
附身，
black magics or spells can affect you.
你生出去啊，
Because if you're really beautiful and a male ghost looking at you, wow, so beautiful, and get attached to you, oh no,
那很麻烦，
now you're attached
太漂亮，
by ghosts because you're too beautiful.
对，
The male ghosts really like
这个怎么
you.
办？
That's called
怎么办？那
encountering
你赶快念这个咒，
wandering spirit. What do? Then you chant this mantra, Uchusuma mantra. He can dispel all the yin energy, dark or black energy,
做什么法？
all magics, black magic spells and curses can be eradicated. He specializes in this,
病毒
eradicating all filths and negativities. And viruses are also very yin, very dark,
它可以治病。
so he can cure illnesses.
那这个恶鬼不敢来侵，
Evil ghosts will not be able,
是善的，
don't dare to approach.
善的来
The
了，
good ones will come, then would give you wealth.
得到财。
That's why you can obtain wealth.
释迦牟尼佛，
And he can perform bardo deliverance because he's Sakyamuni Buddha. All the Buddhas were spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha.
那每一次修法的时候啊，
Every time you perform the practice, you need to chant Namo, fundamental teacher Sakyamuni Buddha, Namo, the manifestation body of Sakyamuni Buddha, Namo, Uchusuma Heruka, the
才会降临。
Divine King Buddha with great authority. You have to chant it all the way for him to descend.
所有所应当
And his mudra is the hardest one to form of all mudras. It's this.
这个很难解的所应，
It's very difficult to form.
勾的是很非金刚所应。
The Uchusuma Mudra.
.这个手印叫做能摧伏印，
This mudra is called the mudra that can destroy and subjugate. And you can destroy and subjugate everything negative and bad.
不会啊，情爱怎么会跑掉？那个飞机
How can
把它抓回来？
how can magnetization be eradicated too?
把它抓回来，啊，燃
Uchusuma
吃掉。
would be able to fly and catch it back and eat it.
飞机金刚是很好的，
Uchusuma is excellent, it's marvelous.
啊，哦，
Now, moving on to Q&A. Malaysia again. Lotus Yi Chong. This person often asks questions. Lotus Yi Chong. True, the school disciples had little interaction with Grandmaster's gurus. Some disciples were not even born before Grandmaster's gurus entered Parinirvana. May I ask Grandmaster to write a book, or at least a brief account describing interactions between Grandmaster and your gurus? In this way, disciples will be able to understand the origins of true Buddha lineage and learn to cherish and protect it. We can also learn about Grandmaster's journey of seeking Dharma and training and hardships you underwent in those years and learn from history. So there is a section of history with each guru. The very beginning was the Golden Mother of the Jade Emperor Temple. And at night, they came to teach you, Golden Mother and the intangible ones would teach you to form mudras. It would go. And what mudra is this? Akasagarbha Bodhisattva. They can teach you. And even the foot mudra, hand gesture and the feet gesture. I have written in the book, I told them, oh, please don't teach me one by one like this. I have to get up and take notes, and so late at night. Why don't you just come whenever I do a practice? And or if I encounter any problems, then you just move my hands and move my legs. So why do you need to teach me? It's so cold in the winter. And it would be more comfortable hiding under the blanket, and you need to get me up. That's when I was young. I was so tired learning every night. In the winter time, I just want to sleep. And you know, they picked me up. I was lying down like this, and they lift my leg, and then I became standing on my head. I always had high blood pressure. And then they let me go. And it woke everybody else in the dorm. What is Sung Yen Lu doing? The dormitory. I sleep here all by myself. I slept here all by myself. And there were many people there, and at the end, that was the leader, and the sound. He heard the sound and asked what happened in the middle of the night. All the sound, and I said, "Oh, nothing. It was just the spirits." What? You know, the leader of the team called my parents and said, "Your son is losing his mind," like this. He's together with ghosts in the middle of the night. So your son has some problems. So my parents asked me, and I told them, oh no, it's nothing. It's just Golden Mother teaching me the Dharma practices. So my parents thought, oh no, he seems to be okay. He didn't look like a mental patient that speak haphazardly and seeing this and seeing that. He's not like that. So my parents told the commander, the unit commander, no, he's okay. He doesn't have any problem. You know, Wei Qingping is my deputy team leader. took me to survey Kongpe-san.
叫我算，
And then
手中拿说，
he grabbed lots of coins in his palms and asked me, okay, now calculate this.
我手上现在
You say that you're very accurate, you give accurate reading.
有多少个字，多少个铜币，
So how many coins do I have in my hand right now? If it is accurate, then I would learn from you.
吹牛，
If not, you're just boasting.
在澎湖哎，
That's in Penghu
测量，
because we went for the survey
那我
project together.
魏金平，
So Mr. Wei Jingping asked me, the leader, the team,
在澎湖怎么办呢？
and I thought, oh no, in Penghu, whom should I invoke? So I joined my palms and I pray,
城隍，
and the city god of Penghu came,
他跟我讲，
and he told
跟
me
我讲，
in my ears,
里面有14个
14 coins in his hand,
你的铜板，
$1 coin, Taiwanese,
铜板，
14 coins.
我就打开，
And then he opened his hand and counted it.
6、7、8、9、10，还剩下4个，
Sure enough, 14
14个。
coins.
他手上这样子，我服了你啊！
Okay,
军人的本色，
he's a military man. Okay, now I admit
你干嘛念？
I will follow. So I told him to chant Amitabha.
他每天念阿弥陀经，
So every day he said
才测量，
Amitabha Sutra.
站在那个
So during the
和尚啊念阿弥陀经啊，很大。我们只念阿弥陀经
standing at the bow of the ship because it was very windy, he kept chanting Namo Amitabha. So he took refuge in me. After he took refuge, then many other people followed and took refuge too.
这是瑶池金木，
That was Golden Mother
就要拜师傅啊，
because I had to start paying homage to gurus. I have many.
阿弥陀佛啊，
You know how many? Amitabha.
30个啊，
20 to 30 of them.
我遇到什么就拜师，遇到什么就
So, whomever I encounter, I would take them as my guru and learn, including Yi Kuan Tao,
传师啊。
that I became one of the lineage holder, I guess.
真言、点玄关，我都知道的啊。一关
So
节，
I know all and the mudra that
五字真言，
they use and
点的是玄关，
the 5-syllable mantra, and then
关窍啊，阎王
point to the Xuan Guan, and then the Yama King would be shocked.
我会学，
So I have studied that too.
教我会学，
And Tiande school, Tiandi school,
还有
first I give the Tiande school
我会学，
and Wuxingzhen.
我写的东西太复杂了，
This is too complex, so many of them, because I search for gurus everywhere. I was told to seek for human gurus, and the first one I took in as my guru was Master In Sun.
乐佛法，
Second was the Venerable Le Guo, and then the Venerable Dao An.
我显教还有3个师傅呢，
I have 3 masters or gurus in Mahayana Buddhism when I took Bodhisattva vows. Jie
那
Guang,
个贤顿啊，
Xian Dun,
结光贤顿，另外一个就惠山
and Hui San.
啊，惠山法师啊，学密教啦，
And then Tantric Buddhism.
更多了。
There are even many more gurus. Several.
王上师也是，
Master Pu Fang was one of them. I took refuge in.
拿图登达尔吉，
Master Duptin Tarji.
很多人去过那里，
Many people have visited him. Please raise your hand if you have
还在
met him, because he was still alive then.
要走的前3天，
3 days before he passed, I met
见
him.
了他以后，
After I met him,
出来，
I walked out and I asked,
我跟师母讲，
and I told Simu,
可能我们这一趟回去很快就会回来。
maybe this time we'll come back very fast. And sure enough, he passed into parinirvana in 3 days. And
去香港再
we went back to Hong Kong for his funeral.
那都
Master
是大姐
Dubdan Tarji, many people have met
另
him.
外几个秘密传的
And then the secret lineages
那个萨迦派萨迦正空上师，
from the Sakya school, Master Sakya Zengkong Dejung Rinpoche, he told me, don't say I'm your guru, I secretly transmit to you the Hevajra,
叫我
Hevajra
称我的名字，
Tantra.
你
Please
萨迦
don't
正空就好。
Call my name, just refer to me, Master Sakya Zengkong. So people will not know. He transmitted to me in Green
在
Lake.
1980年
And in 1980,
是大八化，
I took refuge in His Holiness the 16th Karmapa in upstate New
说
York.
的他有一个富豪买
There was a rich man who bought the hotel and then donated it to His Holiness Karmapa,
16是大八化，
the seat of Karmapa in the United States, the 16th Karmapa.
了明和尚
And Venerable Mang Liao Ming
那个在基基大山，
was at the Jiji
经
mountain.
过那个瑶池金母339口先生，
So through Golden Mother and then the masters of Three Mountains and Nine Marcus
你跟他求法，
and guided me to go up the mountain, and there was an elderly Dongjiang,
和尚
and then I did find him, and that was Venerable Mang Liao Ming.
密教的时候，
That was the first tantric
那
guru.
大师的传人，
He was the lineage holder of Master Nona. So Master Nona and he are both teachers, disciples, and friends. They knew each other in Mount Jingming in Sichuan province in China together.
两个人就相识了。年轻的时候，
When they were young, they knew each other.
就是了明和尚，
Venerable Mang Liao Ming.
他住在基基大山。
He stayed or he lived in Mount Jiji in Taiwan
现在我们有一个堂
in later
大
years.
山
Now we have a chapter in Mount Jiji
出坑，抽坑呀，
in a place called Chukeng,
南头抽坑，
Nantou area district. Chukeng.
那是过去的。所以4个密教的
So those were 4
3个
gurus
师父也
of Tibetan Buddhism, and 3 Mahayana gurus, and then 3 precept gurus,
4个密教，就简单这样。
and 4 tantric Buddhism. Simply said,
跟师公的互动，
and the interaction
骂死了。
with my guru,
是法师特别
I was reprimanded so badly by Master In Xun,
我宜如盛宴，
and he especially wrote a book to rebuke me.
师父骂你是消灾，
And
而且这个
Zheng Yanlu and me. So when the guru scolds or rebuke or reprimands you, that's eradicating your karma. And he sits, he lives right next to me. We're like a townhome.
他叫华，
We're on one side, and he's on the other side.
金色是比丘尼，但是
And it's called the Hua Yu,
导师
the flower rain
住在那，
abode.
那我住在隔壁，
That's for the nuns. But when
住在那个
in his old age, he stayed
这
there.
边，他住这边，
So Simu and I live on one end of the town home.
价钱没有涨，
So, and then I sell the original at the original price to them. So my old home now also became the Huayu Jingse.
最后的一个家，
That was
住在隔壁
my last home in Taiwan. That was next to Master In Shun. He rebuked me badly.
话有几
Why?
创吧，
because I spoke too bluntly,
学了密教啊，
because I studied Tantric Buddhism later on.
三论宗的宗主，
And Master Insun
三论宗的宗主，
was a lineage holder of the Three Treatises school. So that's Madhyamaka, Three Treatises.
什么叫做中观？中观就是龙树菩萨，
So Madhyamaka, what is it?
龙树
Nagarjuna Bodhisattva
提婆菩萨，
and Aryadeva
他传法给提婆，
us
就是用12门论，
using
12门论
the 12 treatises, the Madhyamaka Karika, and then the
唯识是什么？
12 treatises and 100 treatises. And Yogacara starts from Asanga Bodhisattva and Vasubandhu.
那里无着去请问弥勒菩萨，学到了唯识，唯识
So Asanga seek Dharma from Maitreya Bodhisattva, and then with Vasubandhu created the Yogacara.
我没有写三论，结果我学的是密教。
So I did not study the three treatises. Instead, I studied Tantric
我
Buddhism.
一路生愿，
So he wrote a book called Sung Yen Lu and I,
如果骂
and to rebuke me, to reprimand me.
错，你就要
But that's a good thing, because if there's something wrong with you, you should change.
不放不做。
If it's not wrong, then you just continue.
不是早一点死，就是晚一点死。
Because human life is as such. Whether you die sooner or later, whether if you're being scolded and reprimanded, being written in several books even, or being slandered and defamed, it's okay. It doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't even make me itch or painful. Nothing.
你上师也在闹，
I've been reprimanded badly by my gurus, Master Tupten Darji too.
他就跟我很好。
He rebuked me really badly, but whenever I visited him, he's very kind and nice and warm and hugged me and gave me all kinds of things and this and that.
一走了，他又骂我。
But when I left him, then he started to scold me again.
他又跟我亲亲了。
But whenever we see each other, then he's very kind and warm to me.
当然啦，就这样子，有时候也骂。
That's how it is. Sometimes you're being scolded by your gurus. In my studies, I was often being rebuked.
打是亲啊，
So being beaten, that means you're very close, and being scolded, that means love.
你要学人家的法，就应该是这样。
In order to study other people's dharma, you have to go through that.
拜好多师傅哦，你知道，
Have to go through the scolding.
很多教我都信呢。刘培忠的，
I believe in many. I followed many schools or sects.
信生活中，最后跑到那个刘培忠那里去。
Like Liu Peizong used to be True Buddha school follower, and then went to another school to study
南郊啊，
Tong San Jiao,
真的是第一个
which means to connect with the three
第二个
burners, actually, crown chakra, heart chakra, and navel chakra, the three burners.
学通山教。
So that's what he studied.
我的那个写在书上的
And what I wrote in my books,
跟
brow chakra, heart chakra, and navel chakra,
就是三教。
that I wrote in my books, he did not know. Those are the three burners. But he went away to study that. What can you
刘
do?
培忠
That's affinity, Liu
台
Peizong.
湾话叫老回丢，老回丢。
In Taiwanese, Lao Peizong.
我也学过啊。
I have studied that too.
讲那个《楞严经》，
Now let's expound the Surangama Sutra.
这个字怎么念？
Now, how do you pronounce this?
一个舌头，一个心字旁。
田
田呐，有田变等两种相参。
By the two appearances, now we talk about the tongue.
田变等两种相参。
By the two appearances of blandness and change. So blandness
舌头
and
跟言目
tastiness
各大因名舌体，
attached to the wondrous luminous true mind, tasting
跟
arises.
事成留意。
The essence of tasting reflects taste. Together with taste, it becomes the root. The source of the root is called the pure four great elements. It is the physical tongue.
人来讲，它是尝味道。
So the tongue is to taste.
舌头本身味道，他说它的形状
And the shape
弦月，
is like a newly crescent moon.
上
Do you
弦
know?
弯弯的这样。
Like this, curving.
他说这样子很像舌头，
And he said that looks like a tongue
勾起来像上弦月。
when it's curled.
密教重不重要？重要。
Is the tongue important in Tantrayana? Very important.
萨迦64遍
Is touching the tip of the tongue to the upper palate. That's in the
这个
Sakya 6
天井水
postures.
一定要抵上颚，
When you practice the heavenly water
流下来，
that would drip from above
然后再漱口，
to the mouth
把这个
to fill the whole mouth, and then you swish it around before you swallow it. That can moisten and nourish your whole channels and
那舌头在人
qi. So tongue is very important.
甜的味道，
Of course, for humans,
酸
the
的，
tongue likes sweetness.
喜欢酸的。为什么
Some people like sour.
怀孕了，
Why? Because she's pregnant,
她一定要吃酸的，
or she needs something
辣
acidic,
碗的那个
so she wants to eat sour food.
很酸的梨，
Very sour plums. The whole plate can be eaten because the body needed it. The body needs it.
那舌头酸、甜、
For the tongue,
苦的，
sour, sweet, bitter, spicy.
都蛮好。
Most people don't like bitterness, but the other three are acceptable.
四川
Like the hot,
他们四川人都是吃辣，他们
hot, spicy food from Sichuan province.
都喜欢都吃辣。
And Southeast Asian disciples, Indonesian disciples love hot, spicy food.
在南亚
Malaysians,
辣，
the tropical areas love spicy food.
然后这个辨别味
And
道有没有变，
to discern the change of taste. If something has gone bad, the tongue can tell right
吃
away.
鱼
Since Grandmaster Young,
里面有刺，舌头动一动
in eating the fish with the
出来，
with the
把这个
bones,
刺踢出来。
with the tongue,
老外吃鱼
you can spit out the bones.
没有刺的，
Look at the Westerners, they need to eat fish without any bones in it. And if they eat any fish with bone,
啊，舌
oh,
功夫啊，
they would hurt themselves.
很小很小的刺，你都感觉到
That's a kind of kung fu. Even a tiny little fine bone, and you would be able to detect with your tongue, and then you can just spit out the bone itself.
我没有感觉，
You don't think you don't
如何
underestimate
是那个
the tongue. If tongue has no awareness or no feeling,
觉，
how can you taste delicious
连
food?
大便都吃了，
And if you have no sense of smell, then maybe you would just eat poo.
法西养苗，
The Cantonese joke.
法西是代表，
The monks eat poo, the monks drink pee. that was taught by Changren Master.
本来就是这样子，这个舌头本来就是很厉害的。
So the tongue
能够辨别
is really amazing. It can tell the taste.
像那个上弦月一样，
It can tell different tastes. And the shape is like the crescent moon. Actually,
那个佛经
not necessarily. I've read it in the sutras, in the Amitabha Sutra,
十方如来啊赞叹
that all the Tathagatas of the 10 directions
深广
praise
长舌相，
the Sukhavati
深广长舌相，然后呢，
that with
表
the
示他讲的是真实语。
with the long tongue, which means you speak truthfully.
叫做广长舌。我看到的鬼才。
So broad and long tongue.
我在医院里面。
So the ghost that I saw had long and broad
脸
tongue,
盆那么大，
this big as a basin.
这样大的舌
The
头，
ghost that I saw at the hospital.
我们人的舌头哪有那么大？没有，
But human tongue is not that big.
看到的是，管他是鬼是佛，不过他伸的舌头。
I don't know whether that was a ghost or a Buddha, but the tongue was scary.
那叫做舌体，舌体。
So it's called the physical tongue.
谈到舌头，我觉得
Talking about tongues, I found it very
有一个男的
funny.
亲那个女的，
A
一
man
个女的，
kisses a woman
结果呢，
and
讲说你不要亲我哦，
the woman said, "No, don't kiss me." Why?
我好像讲过，
Did I?
那男的用
Tell these jokes?
天哪，
And then the man
我弹就虚，
and the man just suck on it, and then that was phlegm.
因为那个女生感冒嘛，那个喉咙
Because
痰啊，
she had cold and she had phlegm
结果一闻一下
and didn't tell him.
痰就
And
跑
with the kiss, he just sucked the phlegm into his mouth.
以前我那个有一个女朋友是有气喘，
I had a girlfriend that had asthma before. She's old by now.
她是老了，她也老了。
She's also old.
是我住在合作新村的时候，
When I lived at the new cooperative village,
民生日报
and
报写文章，
I wrote articles at the Mingsen and Taiwan newspapers, and she read my articles a lot and very admired me very
合作
much
新村的那个
and knew my address.
我的家呢，她就把信放在邮筒，
So she would come to my home and drop her letters into my mailbox.
她是有气喘，
But she had asthma.
我是想闻她
I thought about kissing her,
发一张，
but when she opened her mouth,
那痰拉出来，她的
oh, and she had asthma and she could pull out her phlegm that long, and that was so scary to me. So I never kissed her.
那不是我，那不是我，
That wasn't me.
别误会，别误会。
Please don't misunderstand. There was no such thing.
曾经有接吻是有这种事情，我告诉你，接吻
There was kissing.
也是舌头的功用。
That's also the use of tongue.
那个，因为对方是有假牙的，
And because they have denture,
把牙齿都弄到自己
and they drew the denture.
假牙。另外还有接吻哦，两个人太热，
And then passionate kiss,
会产生热能，会
because when you kiss, it would generate heat.
舌尖呢变成黑色。
The tip of the tongue became swollen and
舌尖
black.
你们哪个有这个经验？
Any one of you had this experience?
真的有哎，
It did happen
因为它吸力太大了，
because the suction was too strong.
人家的舌尖都变成吸成鹅青啊，
So that created bruise on the other's tongue.
这个太大了。
That was too strong. That's the function of tongue.
真的两个人亲热都是这样子，
So when two people get passionate, they bite each other.
这舌头吸到鹅青的，
That even the tongue can get bruised.
不是我，不是我，
It's not me, okay? It's not me.
不是我。不过我看到女生有2个舌头真的鹅青。
But I saw 2 girls that had bruises at the tip of their tongue,
圈圈出来，
like a circle, a black circle around their tongue.
接吻接来，
That's because of the kiss,
问世的时候，
kissing. In the spiritual consultation, where did you see that?
哎，不是我，不是我。
It's not me.
这，所以呢，因为他舌头本身来讲，
So,
味道
because the tongue has
是
taste,
有味道，
the tongue can taste, has feeling.
味道，所以舌头不只是酸甜苦。
So for the tongue, it's not just
像我们有没有讲到说
sweetness, sourness, bitterness, and spiciness. Sakyamuni Buddha did not talk about kissing that causes bruises, but because of the sense of taste on the tongue,
就是
so you can feel what you eat.
很多人好吃，
Some people love to eat.
食就是其中
So wealth, sensual pleasures, fame, and food.
食物的
And that's because of the sense of taste. You know
变成这样。
a different taste of food, so they love to eat. Why?
能吃的东西就拼命吃，
If they like certain food, they eat it a lot.
所以很难抵抗
It's very difficult to resist
那种味道、那种感觉。
such a taste, such a feeling.
你知道台湾有发生过一件事情，
You know, something happened in Taiwan.
阿基斯阿基斯，
The Aji chef,
对呀、对呀、对呀、他外面有一个小姐，
so he had a girl.
事情爆发以后，记者
And then when it happened, reporters asked him, and the lawyers were around him, and the lawyers told him,
没有，
just keep silent.
或是 hug， 然后嘴巴碰嘴巴，
But he continued to say, oh, we just hug and lips to lips, but no tongue to tongue.
我们是国际礼仪，
So that's international ethics.
，hug， 然后
Just hugging,
那个嘴巴
and then mouth and mouth, just a slight touch.
有没有？
That's international ethics, right?
是哦
That's what we saw in the news.
自己有没有用舌头？那是一个关键。
So that's the crux of the
他其实讲没有，
point. Did you use tongue? And the chef Achi said no, but who knows?
所以
Nobody saw.
所以讲的话也不要信。
So don't believe whatever being
现
said.
在呢，那连照片都不能信，因为 AI 都可以。
And now you can't even trust photos
现在照片
because AI can make it up, can make up anything.
你是可以信，还有
You can just trust yourself
两个人，
and your partner, the two people, and you can't trust anybody else or anything else.
舌头被人家斩断，应该讲话就会有点问题了。
If the tongue is being cut off, then you would have difficulty
因为
speaking.
你那个
The tongue is related to the languages like the Beijing dialect, and they're curly.
还带回而来。
Grandmaster is imitating the Beijing dialect.
就是剪舌嘛。那舌头
You roll your tongue. So if you cut your tongue, you would not be able to roll your tongue.
对不对？就是这样子啊。对呀，没有味道啊，什么味道也没有啊。所以这个味也是很迷人的。
Therefore, taste is also very alluring.
10岁
So it's one of the 5 desires.
关系到
Food
这其中
is relates to tongue,
真心之上，
and above the
眼
on the wondrous luminous true mind,
舌
attached to the wondrous luminous true mind are the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and next would be the body. Now it's 5:44.
眼睛所迷，
So if you are deluded by the eyes, by the ears,
舌头所迷，
by the nose, by the tongue, then
鼻舌你都会迷人，被迷掉。
because the eyes, ears, nose, tongue
注重它
can
跟
allure you and delude you,
内在的
then once you are
迷失，
confused or deluded by them, then
这个舌头也是
you would miss the wondrous luminous true mind and you focus on the superficial. And the tongue can be used for spiritual cultivation, which is touching the tip of the tongue to the upper palate. And then the water from above would flow down, and that's the heavenly palace water.
空气就到喉咙，
And then you need to inhale,
到喉咙，
and then would connect from the brow chakra to the throat chakra, and then to the heart chakra, and to the navel chakra, so the water can flow.
所以他主要讲这些是跟你讲，
So,
妙明真心之上，
talking about this is
这
that
些东西
on top of the wondrous luminous true mind, these things are glued to
就
it.
粘在一起
So the 6 roots are attached to the wondrous luminous true mind.
的应用，
And ordinary people just focus on the 6 roots and their functions, and they miss the wondrous luminous true mind,
让表面上的
the original Buddha nature. And instead of the Buddha nature, they just focus on the superficial feelings on the
更
surface.
亲近了，其他更强。
So the Buddha teaches us to cultivate spiritually through one root. Once one root is purified, then the other roots will be purified as well.
为什么呢？
Why?
只要眼根亲近了，
Because if the root of the eye is purified, and then the other 5 functions would follow
虽然不
the root of the eye.
同
Although their functions differ, but actually
一的感，一跟六
there's unified.
是作用，
So the one is divided into 6, which is the 6 functions, and 1 is the accumulation, the togetherness, one taste.
更的亲近。
So if one is purified, the rest would also be purified. It will be mentioned later. The teacher asked naughty students' parents to come to school,
不是花钱
and the student
跟
is really afraid to be scolded. So he hired someone to pretend to be his parents,
老头，
an old elderly man.
那个
And then in school, the teacher saw him and asked the student, "Are you sure this is your dad?" And he said, "Yeah, it's my dad."
叫到一旁，
And then the teacher asked the elderly man, do you have another kid outside? And does mom know?
我是老师的爸爸。
Because the elderly that the student brought to school happened to be the father of the teacher.
人生只有3件事，
There are only 3 things in human
就
life.
是老
There are 3 businesses. It's my business, other people's business, and the business of heavens. And people have afflictions because they forget their own business and they want to mind other people's business and worry about the business of the heavens.
殊不知道啊，自己的事
They did not know
不了，
that they cannot run away from their own issues and they can't
天有的事
worry about other people's business, and there's no need to worry about the business of the heavens. If you want to be happy,
好自己的事，
and you should just do your own business
别担心。
and don't worry about other people's business and don't worry about the heavens business.
也是蛮有哲学味道。
It's quite interesting philosophy. Xiaoming asked Dad,
那么帅，
Dad,
却这么丑呢？
why you're so handsome and I'm so ugly? And Dad says,
空气污染严重，
that's because of the heavy air pollution.
人
And the son said, you lied.
长相又没有什么关系呀、
What is the relationship between air pollution and looks?
心理吗？
Oh, because of the air pollution, I could not see clearly. I could not see your mom clearly.
小明问爸爸啊，
Xiaoming asked Dad, Dad,
小时候，
when you were little,
爸爸，你小时候，你爸爸打过你吗？
did your dad ever
爸爸回
beat you?
答打过。小明
And Dad replied, yes.
他小时候，
And Xiaoming
爸
asked,
爸也打。
and how about your dad? Did his dad beat him too? Yes, of
儿
course.
子就讲，
And the son says,
假如
Dad,
你愿意跟我合作的话，
if you want to cooperate,
恶性
let's stop this vicious cycle
恶性循环的暴力行为。
of this kind of abuse.
也好笑。
That's funny.
话说幼儿园办活动，我们
There's
老师
there's an event at the kindergarten. We have several kindergarten teachers here,
3个小班，小班，
and there are 3 classes.
小一班喊的口号是
The small one will
小
say,
一勇夺第一，
"Oh, this is
小二
Chinese."
班的喊的口号是
The first and the
独
second.
一无二。等到小三出场的时候，这下不得了了。
And then,
只有
yeah,
爸
this
爸
one.
小三，爸爸的心肝。
This is only in Chinese.
我们的朋友。